Hey guys, and welcome to our first new not our first new review, but our first new movie review of 2025. Off to just a fantastic start. And yeah, this is the first movie that is from the year 2025 that we're seeing. I had originally thought that movie was going to be Wolfman, which I still plan on seeing, but honestly, after all of December being werewolf or werewolf adjacent movies, I was kind of done with the genre, mostly because that month was 50-50 at best. So this is our first new film of 2025, and I'm going with the new horror comedy piece, Companion. Now, honestly, up until taking a few notes of names, this is YouTube, so if you would have held a very angry item to my head and told me that this wasn't the writer director of Barbarian, I would have been like, you're an idiot, because it totally is. I don't know why in my head I thought this was the same writer director as Barbarian. Maybe it was based on that first trailer. Maybe it's from like the producers of it. I'm not sure, but especially that first trailer, I was like, oh, this is totally the guy who made Barbarian, and it is not. This is from Drew Hancock, the writer director of also Burying the Dead, or Burying the X, I think is what it's called, and a couple other things. But no, this is not. This is not the follow up to Barbarian, in as much as the same person. But honestly, watching this movie, to me, kind of spiritually it is, because I was gonna say, I really, as much as I enjoyed Barbarian, I know hilariously Nick did not, and I was like, this would be funny to see his reaction because it's the same guy, but it's not. Again, I want to reiterate, this is not the same guy who made Barbarian, but it definitely has kind of that feel of this new voice that does a really good job of mixing horror and comedy, and taking kind of like a tired trope and kind of playing with the genre itself, um, pressing genres together you don't really expect, and then kind of giving you something new with it. And this isn't just something about the guy who made Barbarian. I'm done talking about Barbarian. But even something like Adam Wingard's You're Next falls into that category for me. Um, Ty West just had an amazing trilogy come to an end that did everything I'm talking about. And so it is nice to see these directors kind of taking these horror movie cliches and kind of tired tropes. Because on the surface of this movie, and we're going to get into some light spoilers, this movie's been out for a couple weeks now. Also, sadly to me, the poster gives this movie away, much like the second trailer did. Like, oh, you kind of ruined it's 25 minutes into the movie, but it is kind of a big surprise for the rest of the film. Because this is, something like, it's like a Black Mirror episode, because it's a mishmash of a, robot gone amok, mixed with like a female in distress in the woods type situations, with a lot of meta humor, a lot of poignant and kind of contemporary humor look at toxic not so much toxic masculinity. It's a somewhat with a character. Definitely dealing with like incel behavior and kind of that type of guy who, man, just the whole world's against him because he's like good looking and like rich and stuff. But man, he's just the whole world's against him because he's kind of a giant a hole. Um, Played perfectly. First of all, the casting of this movie. Um, I like Jack Quaid a lot. I like seeing him pop up and stuff. I'm not quite sure how that Novocaine movie is gonna go, but he's fantastic in The Boys, and some other stuff I've seen him in. But this movie, honestly, him as this guy, this character, Josh, who is, he rides the range of sadistic torturer to uh, this great plan maker to, he's also a loving boyfriend and like robot sex bot owner. Um, you have to go with him, and you have to go from, oh hey, it's Jack Quaid, to, oh no, he's the worst, and you're ready for him to get his comeuppance. But honestly, the movie lives and dies with Sophie Thatcher, who plays Iris. She is phenomenal in this film. Um, Absolutely phenomenal. And then you have people like Harvey Gillian from What We Do in the Shadows playing a character in this movie. Um, Very fun little character, kind of like he had in Werewolves Within. Um, Lucas Gage, who was just in Smile 2, um, plays a male robot named Patrick who uh, gets to kind of be the T-1000 for a little bit, uniform and all. It's kind of awesome. This is just a movie, again, that, because it starts with this, we're taking a trip out with our friends to this mansion, lake house, um, and then you're with this woman. She's nervous around her boyfriend's friends. They don't seem to like her. Some of them seem standoffish. And when she's attacked by one of the males that is there on the beach, she kills him in self-defense. Come to find out, she is Jack Quaid's um, female fembot, uh, and they've messed with her programming to kill this guy so they can steal money from him. But she gets away with the controls to upgrade her intelligence and her aggression, and chaos ensues. And kills happen with chasing this woman through the woods, and a lot of them are wild. There's a big death toward the end that is on par with one of the main ending deaths of You're Next. So I won't say much more than that. But no, this is a fun little kind of um, we've got a message. We are definitely taking shots at a certain well deserving group for kind of how they treat their significant others, or specifically some women in general. But also does it in a way that doesn't feel overly preachy or pretentious. Like, oh, what was that? The Florence Pugh movie, uh, Something Darling, where it's like the Stepford Wives, but like talking about some like lesser Black Mirror episodes that just beat you over the head with what it's trying to say. It's like rub your noses in and like you get it. This movie doesn't really do that. It makes it much more accessible to enjoy, and it was a fun kind of take on these certain archetypes in horror films, and kind of turns them on their head and has a little fun with them. And I really did enjoy this movie. Again, I uh, had a lot of fun, and honestly was just like, oh well, good for the guy who made Barbarian, because I'm down with it. Like, I'm down with this guy's horror movies, and not being the same man. Um, but still, this was a really fun kind of kind of horror movie. Honestly, this would have kind of been fun. I know Heart Eyes is out this weekend. We got a lot of bad weather, so I stayed in and went with Companion. But like to me, this is more fun as like a horror movie. Kind of like Amber would have enjoyed this movie. At first, I don't think she would have, because she didn't watch Barbarian with Ashton and I. But what she caught of it, she was like, that's a no for me. But I think she would have enjoyed something like this. Whereas when we watched, what is that movie called? Um, the Olivia Wilde movie, Something Darling. She did not like that at all. She did not like it. So I really did enjoy this movie, and I say check it out. Um, it's 2025. I'm just gonna start telling you check it out. Like I'm Gene Shalit, and now I've also shown my age, so we're again smashing. But I really enjoyed this movie. I think a lot of people will enjoy this movie. I would be curious about. It's weird that this movie isn't getting quite the hype behind it as I thought it might. Um, Maybe it's just kind of it's because it's kind of buried between kind of bigger horror films. But I really did dig this, and I really think that if it comes a time later when Amber wants to watch a horror movie, this would be one I would put on for, and she would have a ball with it. So if you're wanting to show a horror movie, like spend some quality time, have a little fun, like date night with your significant other, watch this instead of something like Hard Eyes. Although I say that I haven't seen Hard Eyes, but that doesn't scream like my partner will love this. However, next week I am super excited. This is wrapping up my review of Companion, by the way. It is a lot of fun. It looks beautiful. The soundtrack in this movie is utterly fantastic. There's so much fun when the gore and violence happens. It is brutal. And so it's kind of everything you want in a fun little movie like this. Again, like something like You're Next or honestly, it's the best kind of comparison to it is something like You're Next, or again, kind of to a lesser degree, kind of Ty West, the X trilogy, the Pearl trilogy, whatever you want to call it, Maxine's, whatever. Now that I've named all 3 films, you should go watch those too. But yeah, that's going to wrap it up for this review of Companion. Next week, I will be in the theater, and we are hoping to see, because I really spoilers for our next live, which I'll get to in a second. But I really dug Longlegs, and so to find out, I'm gonna get back-to-back Oz Perkins movies. I'm super excited, and it's based on a Stephen King short story, and it looks to be absolute chaos on like a Malignant style level, and I am 1,000% here for it. Next week we're planning on talking about The Monkey. And so you're not going to want to miss that. I will keep that one more spoiler-free because that movie does come out next weekend. So we will discuss that. And then coming up over at our Twitch, if you were on our Twitch last weekend was when we were on it, on Saturday, you would have known, A, that we were talking about this movie this week. You also would have known that last Sunday, as a surprise, instead of one video, I dropped an entire playlist of all of our Neo-Noir November reviews. All the ones I did here on YouTube last year, or year before. Plus all the ones I was able to collect, all the ones, put new title cards on them, new music, for the ones that we did in the very first Neo-Noir November, which we did on our Facebook page, way back when. And so I'll tell you now, that's also something I'm working on a private. Right now it's private because I'm not done putting them together. Once I get them all together, I'll release it publicly. Probably on our Patreon first, and then with the links, and then release it publicly later. It's going to be called the Movie-Club Archive, and it's a playlist of all of our previous lives that were not on YouTube or Twitch. Our pre-Twitch, pre-YouTube lives. That Nick and I did when we first started out. There's no fun background graphics. Um, there's not real. Well, there's some music, but it's the newer music. Kind of, I'm putting it in after the fact, but we covered some fun topics before we left that platform for this platform. We talk about our favorite 90s thrillers, or underrated 90s thrillers, our cold weather movies, which are the movies that you watch when you're locked inside the house and it's cold out, like it's just or those cold weather movies are movies that you are about cold weather. Your favorite movies that take place in cold weather. Your warm blanket movies, which are the movies that you just love. It's gross outside, or for whatever reason you're stuck in the house. Let's watch this. We did a full on deep dive review of The Batman when it came out. That review's on there. Our Jordan Peele review, where we talk about all three of Jordan Peele's movies and rank them. And I do a lot of defending of my love of Us. So all those videos will at some point be available, first on our Patreon and then here on YouTube. The point is, you got to get on those lives. If you want to see them, you got to get on them when we're doing them. And we're doing them every month over at our Twitch, twitch.tv/The Movie-Club Emporium. Last month we did New Year, New Me, where we celebrated January's New Year's resolutions by talking about 3 wild and sleazy and ultra fun horror movies involving the gym. And then coming up here at the end of this month, we are going to finally break down our best and worst of 2024. We let everybody get theirs out of the way. Everybody gets their opinions. And then Nick and I give you the facts of what is the best and worst of 2024 according to us. And so you don't want to miss that. We've got a lot more planned for this year. And so make sure you are subscribed to us over there. Make sure you're subscribed here. Now it's time for the YouTube stuff. You want to make sure you're subscribed here. You got to click the bell. Click subscribe. Maybe like the video. Share the video. If you're still here, you might as well. It doesn't cost you anything. And because every Sunday there's new reviews. And like I said, next week we're talking about The Monkey. So make sure you're here for that. And every week going forward, within reason, like things happen. But again, next week, let's get, whatever. Click the bell and subscribe. Appease the almighty algorithm. And then until next week, when we are talking about The Monkey, stay safe and be nice to your house appliances. And, don't be mean to your house stuff. You buy your girlfriend something nice. You're in trouble. If you're watching this right now and you haven't, guess what, man? You're in trouble because it's 2 days after Valentine's Day. What are you doing? You can't wait for the candy to go on sale and then buy it. Like, this doesn't work that way. Anyway, if you're out of the doghouse next week, we're talking about The Monkey. Until then, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.